BLUETTI have just made a power station for FridgePower backup, but I think they've just built the best power station for van life. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This month BLUETTI sent me two very different power stations to see if they could be used in a van life scenario. And the first one was the Elite 400 here. Now while it was a massive capacity at 4 kilowatt hours, it was also massive in size. So unless you have a motorhome or a larger camper, or you're a DJ or someone that needs portable power remotely. So now we're on to the second unusual one, and this is the BLUETTI FridgePower. This is more for home backup power, i.e. powering your fridge in a blackout. So on paper, this thing shouldn't be good for anything other than emergency backup power, but, and I'll say this with a massive but, because even though this doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles that the Elite series has, for instance, this thing has the potential to probably be one of the best power sources that you can use to power your van. What I'll do is I'll get this stuff out the box first, and then we'll talk about what comes in the box. So for the first time on the channel, I'm going to show you the product first before I tell you what you actually get in the box. And this is it, the BLUETTI FridgePower. BLUETTI needs to adopt this colour scheme. I'm loving this. This is where the magic happens. Check this. Shutting. Look how thin that is. So BLUETTI design team, marketing team, you need to adopt this. It's time to retire the grey. Let's go with this. So I'm going to put this down just now, and then we'll see what we get in the box. So in the box you do get two boxes. In the first box you get a nice lengthy AC cable, some screws, and you do get a nice leather strap, and this basically goes on here so you've got a handle to carry it. So we'll attach this, and you also get 4 of these screw-on feet with nice rubber grips, and you also get wall plugs. So within this wee box you do get the manual for the actual machine itself. So they do provide you this as well. So the premise of this fridge is basically it's marketed for fridge power. You can basically sit this, as you can see here, on top of your fridge. If you want it to sit higher above your fridge, just have like a wee bit of an air gap, then you can use these feet. And the reason for the bracket, as you've already guessed, is you can hang this on your wall and they give you the bracket and the screws and the wall plugs. How cool is that? So before we get into the features and the specs and all the rest of it, let's cover expansion. Some but not all BLUETTI power stations can be expanded. So the Apex 300, that's expandable, so you can take that from 2000 watt hours away up to like 19,000 watt hours. However, with the Elite series you can't expand those capacities. I mean, they sort of can be, but it's a workaround for another video. The BLUETTI FridgePower, however, this can be expanded. This BLUETTI FridgePower is a 2016 watt hour battery. If you look at this picture here, you can expand this up to 3 more times, giving you a massive 8,000 watts worth of power. So right out the gate, before we cover features, before we cover specs, you can expand this from 2000 watt hours up to 8,000 watt hours. So let's do dimensions first. This is the thinnest 2000 watt hour power station I've ever seen, at 75mm depth by a length of 580mm and a width of 350mm. It weighs in at a 17.3 kilogram or 43 pounds. Like I said, capacity is 2016 watt hours powered by a LiFePo 4 battery, and it has an 1800 watt output with a surge up to 3600. Charging wise, you can charge it up to 1400 watts AC, and it also comes with a 1000 solar input. So we do have the usual UPS uninterrupted power source of 10 milliseconds. We do have app control. The lack of features show it's not a power station you're going to be going to often enough, so this is where the app control is going to come into play. If you're using this power station for power backup for your fridge or anything else, because this is going to be plugged into your AC all the time, it will receive extreme weather warnings on the app. So if it detects a storm warning, it will charge the power station before the storm arrives. It's also got smart home ready with Alexa, Google Home, etc. And BLUETTI claims in standby mode on self-consumption, it only draws around 4 watts. Now, as this is based on a fridge backup power, it does have a general runtime runtime on emergency backup of 21 hours, but again, that all depends on your fridge, as it could be more or it could be less. As you'll notice, there isn't much buttons or features to point out aside from a power button, battery indicator light, two 1800 watt AC plug outputs, 1400 watt input charging port, circuit protector, expansion port, solar input port, removable dust filter. On the bottom you have nice rubber feet so it's not slipping. I'm really pulling here, but you do also get these nice non-slip rubber feet so you can raise the height as and when you need it. And on this power station, BLUETTI opted for no permanent carry handle, and as you see, we can actually screw this nice leather one on. But physically wise, that's it. So I don't know if you were quick to see, but this BLUETTI power station doesn't have that nice, big, bright BLUETTI LCD screen that they're known for. Or do they? So this is also a brand new thing, and I'm really hoping that BLUETTI try and implement this somehow with a firmware upgrade to use with other power stations. Check that. So this will wirelessly connect to this. So the power station's currently off. I'm going to turn it on and you'll see these numbers automatically connect this. So there you go, the power station is at 46%. So this is magnetized, so the back plate here is a magnet. If you're going to use this for your fridge, you can stick this on your fridge, as you can see here. It does have a small kickstand at the bottom. I'm a geek when it comes to gadgets, and BLUETTI needs to make a firmware upgrade so that this can be seen by all the other power stations, because you could then put your power station anywhere you want and just have this sitting somewhere in your van, almost like a diesel heater monitor. Yes, you can use the app on your phone, but again, I'm a geek, I like stuff like that. So if you were going to mount this on the wall and you wanted to keep the monitor with the power station, you could stick this to the top of the power station, just take the tape off, stick it down, and then you'd have somewhere to put the monitor. And the good thing as well is you don't need to use any batteries with it, because at the side here we do have a USB-C port. This does have a 2000 milliamp hour battery, so it's going to last a good while. But just to be aware as well, the wireless LCD monitor is an extra paid accessory, so you don't actually get it with the base model. Again, you can use your phone, but it is nice that they give you that, but it is a paid extra. BLUETTI has kindly sent me out 2 expansion batteries, so let me talk about that. So when it comes to these expansion batteries, you're going to think is one of them is the master and one is the slave kind of thing. So one will control all the expansion batteries, which will be the main one. They're pretty much the same looking, same size, but there are a few wee key differences, and the most notable things that are missing from the expansion batteries is there's no AC sockets on this, either for charging it or for power output. There is, strangely though, an 18 watt USB-C port, and then on the side here you've got your cables for the expansion. This is the connector for the expansion, and this is a communication link, and as you can see the cables are pretty short, so BLUETTI's kind of tying you into a certain configuration, which I'm going to get into in a bit. And when it comes to accessories for the expansion, they're pretty much identical to the main power station, in that you get the nice leather strap for the carry handle, and you also get the mounting plate for if you want to hang it on the wall. You do also get the screw-on feet so you can change the height, but in terms of anything else, that's it. One massive feature this is missing is there's no solar input either. So in order to charge these expansion batteries, they need to be connected to the master power station. The thing that's amazing about this is it's just plug and play. So if you take the main power cord into the AC input, and let's say you wanted to back up your fridge power, then all you do is unplug your fridge from the wall socket, plug this into the same socket the fridge was in, plug the fridge straight in here, and that's it. And if you do have a separate freezer, like a chest freezer, you could plug that in here as well. The applications for using this are a lot more greater than if you get a power cut, because if worrying about your fridge going bad in a power cut doesn't really bother you, but you're more worried about a fish tank, aquarium, reptile enclosures and stuff like that, then this could also be used for that, or even using a CPAP machine as well. So you've been watching this video so far and you're saying to yourself, yeah Robert, that's fine, because you're constantly plugged in to the mains at your house, and you're probably sitting wondering, how does that relate to van life? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is an Elite 200 V2. This is a 2000 watt power station. This is a 2000 watt power station. For the longest time, the main issue with power stations is the bigger the power, the bigger the power station. Just to put into context how much a power station plays in a camper van, I've rebuilt Dobby to accommodate larger power stations, which is under the worktop. But then BLUETTI sent me a golden egg in the form of the Elite 300, as you can see here. That's considerably smaller than this Elite 200, and that's a 3000 kilowatt hour power station, but that one does come with a price tag. And to the power station detriment, that's why people prefer going for the leisure battery route. They've got smaller components and they're easily expandable, but that system does come with its own negatives as well. Like, you need to know how to wire it up, you need to know wire gauge, blah, 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 all of that stuff. Like I said at the start of the video, this power station has the potential to be better than even this. So the main thing this power station's got going for it is that depth. Look how thin that is. And then look at the depth of the Elite 200 V2. Before I go any further, I'm not bashing the Elite 200 V2 by any stretch of the imagination. This is still one of the main units that powers Dobby, along with the Elite 300 and the Elite 100, so I still love this before you think I'm hating on it. Even in a micro camper like this or a car camper, this has got so much more potential than trying to find space for that. Now remember, this is 2000 watts, this is 2000 watts, but with an extra battery, it's 4000 watts. Dobby is a small car, van, micro camper. He's not a big Transit Custom, Vivaro, Sprinter, anything like that. But let me show you what I can do with these and where we can place them in the van. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to show you setups based on either 1 unit, 2 units or 3 units, or if you can get away with 4 units. So the first setup I'm going to show you is a 2 unit setup. Check this. And it's under the kitchen worktop. Again, it's like these were built for Dobby in that space. As you can see, we've got one here and one in the back. And this would be a nice setup to hide wires as well. It's actually quite funny. This is called the BLUETTI FridgePower because sitting looking like that, it looks like a fridge under the counter. So to stop that from moving when driving, all you do is get a ratchet strap set and then just ratchet top and bottom and that won't move. So in a micro camper, that's now 4000 watts worth of power. Setup number 2 is one that I never imagined I would ever be doing in Dobby. Check this, 4000 watts above the cab. Obviously, if you were going to go for this, you would want to reinforce these pillars and make sure everything was solid, but check it, those fit the entire length of that parcel shelf. But here's the thing, and I'm not going to do it because I'm kind of trying to film this quick because I don't really want to tie them up there because I know this isn't as reinforced as I would like it because it doesn't hold a lot of weight. But look at the space. You could easily have a 3 to 4 unit setup above that parcel shelf. To save on weight, I would probably say maybe 3 maximum. Again, look at the options. You could never get that with something like that or the Elite 300. So let's say you're happy with the 2000 watts on 1 unit and you want to see a 1 unit setup. Literally every one of them I've showed you can be used as a 1 unit setup, but you've also got this as well. Under the bed. Look at all the space you're saving. And that's a 2000 watt power station. You can also check the battery. So if you remember, the Apex 300 was probably the same length as this, but it was massive and it was heavy as well. Whereas with this setup, you could easily, maybe a shelf here that goes right along, and then that gives you the space back to put stuff on top and then just slide this in underneath. But aye, game changer. And also as well, because of that nice handle, it is nice and easy to pull out. But I'm not done yet because we now have the 4 unit placement for Dobby. Check this. Yep, you guessed it, under storage. So when I was doing the van build, I did have an idea to do like a big pull-out drawer that went the entire length of the van, but if I was looking to upgrade Dobby, get as maximum amount of power as possible, I would get another one of these, so 4 in total, just build a reinforced drawer with hinges, put the 4 of them inside it, daisy chain them up and have the cables coming out somewhere else, and you've got your full setup completely out of the cab, out of any overhead compartments, and I dare say you would still have some space to use as storage, so let's check it. That wasn't my original plan. The original plan I had is them going this way, but it just shows you how versatile this is. Just fits there and I still have all this storage. Look how much space there is at the back. That wouldn't work, that would only give us a 2 unit setup, but that wouldn't work anyway because you need to put them side by side in order to join them, so the original way would probably work better. Take a look at this. So with the width of this, if you did have a drawer coming out, these would more than fit. So crudely held up with my knee, but it would basically be like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. I think we could get 4 in there. So let me show you how you join them together. Pull the expansion port open and then lift up here to get the cables. This is just your communication cable and it's just like an Ethernet, so that goes in here. That'll go in like that. There's only one way it can go in if I'm being honest. Just line it up and push, and that's them connected. So there isn't much room for wiggle room in terms of how close you can put them and stuff like that. So it would have been nice if there was a bit more leeway on them, and I'm going to show you why. We do have the 3 of them connected together, and the reason why I've stacked them is because there's just not enough room. Here's one of the problems. As you can see, there's only one set of wires here, and then on the other side. Now again, there's no stress on the wires. It's not an ideal configuration. Let me show you why. So you need to turn one upside down in order to plug it in if you want to stack them. And with the app, you just search through Bluetooth, and it's this one here. So you can do it through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and you can give it a name as well. And again, this is just like any other power station on BLUETTI. Got your settings up the top, you can go and rename it, you can set your network settings, your working mode, got your extreme weather alert, it's set to disable just now, you can do timer switches. You can actually set battery level thresholds for each battery, which is pretty nice, but pretty much just as standard as every other BLUETTI power station. You're going to get 1000 watts worth of solar input through that XT60 connection. However, that isn't the best for when it comes into winter. So to mitigate the winter months without having to go somewhere sunny for the winter, you could use the Charger 2. The Charger 2 would give you the best of both worlds in that when you're driving, it will deliver 800 watts worth of power to the initial power station, and that will then feed through to the other expansions depending on how many you've got. And if you've got solar on the roof and it's connected to the Charger 2, this will charge via the alternator charger and solar at the same time. But because this has only got 1000 watts, you'll only get roughly about 1000. And the beauty of that system is because you're already wired into the Charger 2, you don't need to pull cables out when you get parked up either, because if your solar's going through the Charger 2, when you park up, you're going to get up to 600 watts worth of solar going straight into that. You don't need to touch anything on it. It's not designed really to be touched all the time. It's just designed to give power, put it out the way and let it do its thing. You can control everything from the app, and with all that plugged into the Charger 2, you're done. You don't need to do anything else. So that's the vanlife charging options for this. It's just the same as any other power station. And I know what you're thinking, that's great Robert, nice speech, but again, what about 12 volt? How do I plug it into my fuse board? I have worked out 2 solutions for you to be able to use this in vanlife. This one I had to have a wee think about, and I actually got the idea because I seen one of my videos pop up on YouTube, and it was the 12 volt to 240 volt converter. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it here. Essentially what it is you plug the AC into the power station, and then the positive and negative cables go to the fuse board. This will then give you the power for your fuse board, for your 12 volt lights, for your fridge, even a diesel heater as well. The only thing I'll say though is, if you like the look of this for your camper and you want to go down the 12 volt, 240 volt converter route, just make sure that before you buy the converter, you know how much amps all at the one time everything is in your own setup. In my case, I think the maximum was around about 16, 17 amps, and I think the converter I got was roughly about 30 amps, so it more than covers me for anything I put on my fuse board up to 30 amps. If you're more than 30 amps, get a bigger converter kind of thing. I think it's only like £10 more or something, but I will leave a link to it in the description. That 12 volt to 240 volt converter will allow you to use this to have a fuse board set up with 12 volts. If you're on the other side and you don't have a fuse board but you want USB sockets and you want 12 volt plugs just for like a fridge or something like that, the other option that you could go, if you've got the Charger 2, you could get the hub DC, which is this one here, and with this connected to the Charger 2, and you would plug the hub DC into the Charger 2, the Charger 2 then becomes the hub or the power distribution of your van, and then you would just use the hub DC for your 12 volts, your USB-A's, USB-C's, and then just find a place to put it, and that would more than cover you. I think there's like 4 USB slots and 2 12 volt sockets, so it would more than cover you. Now obviously it's not a perfect system, because the last thing you want to do is plug AC in to run a 12 volt system, because inherently just using the AC with the inverter to come on is going to use a wee bit of power and stuff. But if you have the Charger 2 set up with it, the power loss is negligible, because when you're driving, you're going to be charging it, and then when you're parked up, you're going to be charging it through solar. So the only time you're really going to lose power is during the night. But again, when the sun comes up, you're going to be taking in solar. So again, it's negligible. And just remember as well, the more expansions you've got on this system, the less you're going to notice the power loss from the AC, because you're just going to have so much power. If the fact that this is tiny and sleek and you can basically put it anywhere, if all that outweighs the con of using the AC to have a 12 volt system, then it's a no-brainer. So what about the pros and cons of it? Let's dig in. The first pro for me has got to be just how thin it is, because I could put this in places in Dobby I've not been able to put any other power station. Another pro as well, I love the fact that with this small size, the fact that it's a 2000 watt power station is just crazy. And I think the last pro for me is the expansion capabilities. The fact that this is 2000 watts, but it can go up to 8000. Obviously when I showed the layout in Dobby for like a 4-unit system, it was getting a bit cramped because of the wires coming out the expansion port and stuff. If you've got like a big long wheelbase fan, you could literally have these lined up on a wall partition using the brackets under your bed, and then to keep an eye on the full system, you've got your phone or the wireless monitor. This paired with the charger too is something else. What about the cons though? If you remember earlier in the video, I was praising the white aesthetic look. These are all the marks from just doing this review. Maybe you can get them out, maybe not, but those marks are just from moving it about in the van and trying to get this review done. So one of the cons for me is it does mark up pretty easily and the white just highlights it. So stick with the grey BLUETTI. Another con for me is you can't stack them. One was upside down. I dare say you could get away with it. For me, it just wasn't a cohesive layout kind of thing. I think another con for me is the USB-C port. The USB-C port is only on the expansion batteries and not on the main unit itself. To me, it would make more sense to have the USB-C slot on the main one, because if you buy the wireless monitor, you could use USB-C to charge it from the actual unit itself. The wireless monitor came with a USB-C to USB-A cable. Even though the expansion battery does have USB-C, you can't plug the monitor in to charge it, which seems a bit strange. I don't know if it's a con, but it's no solar input cable. They're making a point of highlighting that you can charge this from 1000 watt solar, but they don't give you the cable for it. Maybe it was down to a cost thing, or more try to push it towards home backup. They're pushing the solar thing on the website, so it would have been nice if they gave you the cable as well. And just because I'm testing it in the van life scenario, we may as well chuck it in, but no 12 volt support at all. But I've already showed you how to get around it. It is made for home backup power for your fridge, but again you can use it for a fish tank, aquariums, or you can use it for CPAP machines. But because of that carry handle, the 1000 watt solar, and with how thin it is, you could easily chuck this in the car for car camping, van camping, motorhome camping, tent camping, any off-grid setup that you can imagine, and people doing gigs and all that stuff as well, because again, you can carry it. It's 2000 watts worth of power. You've got 2 AC 1800 watt ports. So if you need to use it for a day or two as a big power brick, use it, take it home, charge it, and you're good to go again. So guys, this is kind of a sneak peek, and it is scheduled for release around about June. So if you want more information that I might have missed and you want to see any updated pricing on it for June, then I'll leave the link in the description and you can go over and check it. Unfortunately, my promo code won't work for it because it's not out yet. However, you can use the promo code for any other BLUETTI device that I've spoke about or you've seen in the video. I'll leave a link for them in the description, and if you click on the link and you use my promo code BLUETTIRobot, you'll get a nice 5% off your complete order. But guys, that's going to cover it. BLUETTI FridgePower, what do you think of it after seeing the places that I've put it in the van, and obviously the caveats of the 12 volt to 240 volt converter or the Charger 2 setup? So in my opinion, this does tick a usable option for van life. If you did go and enjoy the episode, why not drop me a wee like and let me know in the comments. And again, if you did enjoy the video, why not consider subscribing and hit that bell notification so you're always notified when I drop a new video. So until the next one guys, peace.